Imagine standing on the edge of the ocean. Below you are waves, then fish, then whales. But as you continue deeper, the environment changes. Sunlight disappears forever. The pressure would crush a submarine like a soda can. Nearly 11 kilometers beneath the surface lies an incredibly isolated region. We actually know more about the lunar surface than our own seafloor. In fact, 12 humans have walked on the moon. Fewer have reached the deepest point of Earth's oceans. It forces us to question how any organism functions in conditions that would destroy almost all other known life. If complex biology exists in total darkness and under thousands of pounds of pressure, our current models of survival are incomplete. For decades, we have looked toward the stars to find a new frontier, missing the fact that the largest uncharted territory on Earth is hidden right beneath the waves. Historically, we prioritized building tools for looking outward into space before we developed the technology to look downward into the Earth. This data shows the resulting gap in our knowledge. We have mapped the surfaces of the Moon and Mars in high resolution, yet mapping efforts have only reached 1/4 of the terrestrial seafloor. The majority of our planet remains unobserved. The center of this mystery is the Mariana Trench in the western Pacific. Its deepest point, Challenger Deep, is the most isolated place on the planet. To visualize that depth, imagine Mount Everest inverted and placed into the trench. Even then, the summit remains covered by over a kilometer of water. At 11,000 meters, the water pressure is equivalent to balancing 50 jumbo jets on your body. Steel and glass are not enough. At these depths, standard materials fail, and electronics are rendered useless by the sheer weight of the ocean. Exploring the deep ocean isn't merely a matter of distance. It requires building machines capable of surviving extreme pressure and absolute isolation. Below 1,000 meters, we enter a zone of eternal darkness. The temperature stays just above freezing and the water is nearly motionless. In this environment, the traditional markers of time, sunlight, and seasons do not exist. For centuries, sailors filled this unknown space with folklore, drawing maps populated by sea serpents and krakens, capable of dragging entire ships beneath the surface. Modern science hasn't found these mythical monsters, but the reality is just as strange. We have documented fish with transparent skin, shrimp that use bioluminescence to communicate, and single-celled organisms larger than a human hand. Perhaps the most significant discovery is the Mariana snailfish. It lives 8,000 meters down, thriving in a zone where scientists once believed vertebrate skeletons would simply be crushed. This diagram shows the snailfish's evolutionary solution. Rather than a rigid skeleton that shatters under pressure, it evolved a gelatinous body and specialized proteins that stabilize its cells. It survives not by resisting the pressure, but by becoming one with it. Nature's biological engineering has solved the problems of extreme pressure that our best human technology still struggles to overcome. Almost every ecosystem we know depends on the sun. Plants convert light into energy, forming the foundation for the rest of the food chain. But the deep ocean operates on a different set of rules. Near hydrothermal vents, life survives through chemosynthesis, using chemicals from the Earth's interior as an energy source instead of light. Entirely blind ecosystems of tube worms and crabs thrive by feeding on bacteria. These microbes process the hydrogen sulfide released from the vents, turning a volcanic toxin into fuel for an entire biological community. These chemical-based ecosystems mirror the conditions scientists expect to find in space. On icy moons like Europa, subsurface oceans likely interact with volcanic cores in the exact same way. It is a striking irony. The darkest reaches of our own planet are currently the best laboratories we have for understanding how life might exist in outer space. While it appears empty, the ocean is full of sound. For decades, hydrophones have recorded low-frequency rumbles that move across the seafloor. One mysterious sound, known as the bloop, was so incredibly powerful it was detected by sensors thousands of kilometers apart. While it sparked theories of unknown giants, researchers concluded it was likely the sound of massive ice quakes, the breaking of Antarctic ice shelves. The geography of the seafloor is as dramatic as its acoustics. It contains deep valleys, ancient lava fields, and thousands of unexplored seamounts. We often cite the Andes as a massive geographical feature, but the seafloor contains underwater mountain ranges that are longer and peaks that rise higher than anything found on land. Most remain entirely unvisited. The ocean is actively concealing entire geological systems and isolated deep-sea ecosystems that we have only just begun to detect. When submersibles finally reached the bottom of Challenger Deep, the cameras recorded a troubling reality. Human debris had arrived at the deepest point on Earth before we did. Researchers found plastic bags and food wrappers resting on the sediment. Even at 11,000 meters, deep-sea animals have been found with microplastics inside their bodies. The barriers to reaching and cleaning this environment are immense. Saltwater corrodes our sensors, GPS cannot penetrate the water, and missions cost millions of dollars. The same pressure that protects these ecosystems also makes them nearly impossible to restore. It serves as a reminder that no part of our planet, regardless of its depth or hostility, is truly isolated from the consequences of human activity. Despite these challenges, the deep sea remains a vast biological archive. Scientists estimate that millions of species are yet to be named, many of which may produce unique compounds that could lead to new medical treatments or explain the mechanics of cellular aging. We are left to wonder what ancient lineages or complex social structures might exist in the unmapped sections of the trenches, hidden by 3 miles of water. If life can adapt to these extremes on Earth, it suggests that similar subsurface oceans on moons like Enceladus may currently be harboring life. Our greatest mysteries aren't necessarily found light years away. They are waiting beneath the waves, in the unmapped dark of our own world. Until we fully document the abyss, we will never truly understand the limits of life on Earth or where else it might exist in the universe.